Imagine walking across the African grasslands. 2 million years ago. You are small, exposed, and alone. There is no house behind you, no locked door, no electric light, no phone in your hand, only grass, trees, rocks, and the sound of something moving where you cannot see it. You stop. The grass stops moving. You look toward the trees. Nothing. But something is watching you. It has been watching for several minutes. It knows where you are. It knows that you are separated from the group. It knows that you are smaller than the adults around you. You do not know any of this. And then it attacks. For most of human history, our ancestors were not the hunters at the top of the food chain. No, they were vulnerable animals, living among predators that were faster, stronger, quieter, and better armed. These predators could use their teeth, their claws, their speed, or their sheer strength. Our ancestors had none of those advantages. They had small bodies, limited weapons, and children who simply could not run from danger. They had to search for food in open landscapes, all while avoiding animals that had evolved specifically to find and kill prey. Lions may have hunted them. Hyenas may have attacked them. Crocodiles waited beside the water. Giant eagles watched from above. Saber-toothed cats moved through the forests. But one predator may have been especially dangerous: the leopard. We cannot prove that leopards killed more of our ancestors than every other predator combined. The fossil record is incomplete. Most attacks left no trace, and many ancient predators simply disappeared long ago. But leopards are one of the best living examples of the kind of threat our ancestors faced. They are quiet. They are patient. They can survive in forests, grasslands, mountains, and near rivers. They do not need a large hunting party. They can kill alone. And they are perfectly comfortable hunting primates. Modern leopards still kill monkeys and baboons. They wait near trees, rocks, or water, watching for the moment when one animal becomes separated from the group. That may have happened to our ancestors too. Imagine a small group of early humans moving through the edge of a woodland. One adult searches for fruit. Another digs for roots. Children stay close, but not always close enough. The danger may not be in front of them. It may be above them. Leopards are ambush predators. They do not need to chase their prey across an open field. They can disappear inside tall grass. They can move through branches. They can remain still for so long that the forest seems empty. Then, in a single burst of movement, the distance disappears. A leopard can attack from the side, from behind, or from a tree. It can grab its victim by the throat and drag the body away before the rest of the group has time to react. Sometimes, carries the victim into a tree. That behavior creates a problem for archaeologists. The bones may not be found where the attack happened. They may be scattered beneath a tree, hidden inside a cave, or mixed with the remains of animals killed at different times. The evidence may be nothing more than a series of puncture marks on ancient bone. Tiny marks left by teeth. But those marks can reveal something enormous. They can show that our ancestors were not only hunters. They were also being hunted. At Oldoway Gorge in Tanzania, researchers have studied the remains of early human relatives that lived around 2 million years ago. These individuals are often associated with some of the earliest stone tools. For many years, we imagined these early humans as primitive hunters, beginning to control the world around them. But the evidence is more complicated. Some research suggests that certain Homo habilis remains were bitten and consumed by leopards. Other marks may have been caused by crocodiles or different carnivores. This does not mean Homo habilis was helpless. It means that intelligence did not instantly place our ancestors above every predator. A stone tool could cut meat, could break bones, could help someone process a carcass. But a stone tool could not stop a leopard hiding in the darkness. The first tools did not transform our ancestors into invincible hunters. They simply gave them one more advantage. In a dangerous world, and there was another threat that came from above. Around 2 million years ago, a young Australopithecus africanus died in southern Africa. The fossil is known as the Tong Child. The skull contains damage that may have been caused by a large bird of prey, possibly an eagle similar to crowned eagles living in Africa today. The marks around the eyes and skull resemble the damage found on modern primates killed by eagles. If this interpretation is correct, the Tong Child was not attacked by a lion or leopard. It was attacked from the sky. That detail changes the way we imagine the ancient world. Our ancestors did not only need to watch the ground. They needed to watch the trees. They needed to stay close to one another. They needed to recognize the shadows of animals flying overhead. A child could disappear without warning. A person collecting water could be grabbed beside the river. Someone sleeping at the edge of the group could be attacked while everyone else was distracted. The water itself was dangerous too. Rivers and lakes provided drinking water, fish, plants, and animals. But they also created perfect ambush points for crocodiles. A crocodile does not need to chase its prey. It waits with only its eyes above the surface. The water hides most of its body. The animal approaching the river may never know how close the danger is. One step too far. One moment of distraction. Then the water explodes. Our ancestors also lived among hyenas and other powerful scavengers. Some extinct hyenas were larger than the hyenas we know today. Their jaws could crush bones that human teeth could never break. A group of early humans might discover a carcass, cut away some meat with stone tools, and leave behind the rest. Later, the hyenas would arrive. But the relationship between humans and predators was not always so simple. Sometimes humans stole food from carnivores. Sometimes carnivores stole food from humans. Sometimes humans hunted animals. And sometimes humans became the animals being hunted. The same group could be a hunter in the morning and prey by night. That is the part we often forget. Human evolution did not happen in a safe laboratory. It happened in a world where every meal had a cost, every water source carried risk, and every shelter had to be chosen carefully. So, how did our ancestors survive? They did not survive because they became stronger than leopards. They survived by becoming harder to surprise. They stayed close to one another. They watched the trees. They studied animal tracks. They learned which sounds meant danger. They chose sleeping places carefully. They kept children in the center of the group. They learned when to approach water and when to stay away. And eventually, they controlled fire. Fire did not make predators disappear, but it changed the night, created light, created smoke. It created a boundary between the group and the darkness. A leopard could still attack near a fire, but it had to think twice. The most important weapon, however, may not have been the stone tool or the fire. It may have been shared knowledge. One person noticed movement in the grass. Another heard a sound near the trees. Someone else kept the children close. An older member of the group remembered which riverbank had attracted crocodiles before. Survival did not depend only on the strongest individual. It depended on everyone paying attention. A leopard can overpower one person. It has a much harder time surprising 10 people who are watching together. This may be one reason cooperation became so important in human evolution. Our bodies were not built for speed. We were not covered in claws. We could not climb like leopards or fly like eagles. But we could warn one another. We could remember danger. we could teach the next generation. A child who learned to fear the silent grass had a better chance of surviving than a child who did not. And knowledge could travel farther than any individual. One generation learned where predators waited. The next generation learned the same warning. Over thousands of years, these small lessons became part of human behavior. Look at the way you react today. You notice movement in the corner of your eye. You feel uncomfortable when you are alone in a dark forest. You wake up when you hear a strange sound outside. You may understand that you are safe, but your body still reacts as if danger could be hiding nearby. That fear is not random. For millions of years, our ancestors lived in a world where the grass could hide a leopard, the river could hide a crocodile, and the sky could hide an eagle. We did not inherit the leopard's claws. We inherited the caution. We did not become the fastest animal in the ancient world. We became the animal that could remember what happened yesterday and use that memory to survive tomorrow. So the next time you walk through a quiet forest, remember this. You may feel like you are watching the wilderness, but for most of human history, the wilderness was watching you. And perhaps that is the real reason we are still here. Not because we were always the strongest animals. Not because we were never hunted. But because, while the predators were waiting, our ancestors learned to watch together.